Okay, so the movie kicks off with this dude, Luke, and he's on the run. He just stole this super important painting, and a whole mafia gang is hot on his trail trying to get it back. But no biggie, he's on a bike, so he totally zips away from them and hops on a train to make a clean getaway. He sits down, and pretty soon he's totally conked out. He starts having this awesome dream where he's a world-famous archaeologist because he discovered this amazing golden mask. The light from the mask gets super bright, and then bam, he wakes up, and sitting right across from him is this girl, Esme, and she's like, "Give me that painting you stole." She even threatens him, saying her guys on the train will mess him up if he doesn't hand it over. So Luke tries to bluff his way out of it. He points to some monks sitting nearby and is like, "Yeah, well, those are my dudes, and they'll make you suffer if you try anything." But Esme totally sees right through his lie and just pulls a knife on him. Her goons all jump up, and this huge fight breaks out right there in the train car. The girl actually snatches the painting from him. But Luke is a total pro. He beats up all her guys, snatches the painting right back, and then, get this, he climbs out of the train and gets on the roof. While everyone is chasing him, he just swings off onto a tower and escapes. So then the scene totally shifts to another city, and we meet Luke's sister. She's in the middle of this really messy custody battle with her husband over their son. Anyway, she gets to her job at the museum, and surprise, her brother Luke is just standing there. She hasn't seen him in years. She gets all emotional and starts telling him everything about her life, how she has a son now, and she's getting a divorce. But while she's spilling the beans, he just straight up steals a painting from her museum and bolts. Turns out he wasn't there to see her at all. He just came for the heist. And since she's the head of the museum, this is a total disaster for her. Alarms are blaring, cops are everywhere, and she starts chasing after him. Luke yells at her, "Get in the car with me and I'll give you the painting back." So she does. She jumps in his car and he floors it, driving right into the back of a moving truck to hide. Inside the truck, there are a bunch of other archaeologists. They look at the painting and they're like, "Dude, this is a fake." His sister starts totally freaking out, so Luke just knocks her out cold. The next thing she knows, she wakes up in front of the museum. The painting is right there with her, so she takes it back inside. But the place is crawling with cops, and they start grilling her about Luke. She's like, "Look, I have no idea where he is, and you got the painting back, so what's the big deal?" But despite all that, she gets fired from her job. And when her husband finds out, he uses it against her in the custody case. So now her life is just completely messed up. She feels like she has nothing left. So she goes to this address Luke gave her, and there he is with all his archaeologist buddies and this rich businessman. They finally tell her what's really going on. They're on this insane mission to find the Fountain of Youth. The businessman has cancer, and he thinks the water from the fountain is the only thing that can cure him. But Luke's sister is just like, "You guys are crazy. Our dad was the best archaeologist in the world. He spent his whole life looking for the Fountain of Youth and never found it. It doesn't exist."
But Luke's like, "No way, it's totally real." And he shows her all this research. He spills the beans about this secret group called the Protector of the Path, and their whole job is to hide the Fountain of Youth from the world. He's like, "That's probably why Dad never found it." And get this, some of the good guys in that group actually wanted the world to know about the fountain, so they hid clues to its location inside 7 super famous paintings. Luke's crew has found 6 of them, but they're still missing the last one. So his sister just drops this bomb on them. She's like, "The painting you stole from my museum was a fake. The real one went down with a ship years ago. Total disaster." They all beg her to help them find it, but she's like, "No way, I can't get into any more trouble because of my son's custody case." But then the rich businessman dude makes her an offer she just can't refuse. He's like, "Help us and I'll make sure you get full custody of your son." So she's in. They all hop on a boat and head to this island where the old ship sank. They do this totally insane thing where they use giant balloons to lift the entire shipwreck right out of the water. Luke and his sister go inside, and after a ton of searching, they find the box with the real painting. But just as they're about to celebrate, bam, Esme and her whole crew show up out of nowhere. A huge fight breaks out, and Esme grabs Luke's sister, threatening to kill her. But Luke is super cool about it. He's like, "You're not going to kill her. You just want the painting." And then, surprise, his sister just flips Esme and throws her to the ground. But now the giant balloons are popping and the whole ship is sinking back into the ocean. They all manage to swim to another boat, but his sister is furious with Luke. She's like, "You cared more about saving that stupid painting than you did about saving me." A little while later, though, she gets some awesome news. Her ex-husband got a job in another country, which means her son gets to come live with her, so that's cool. Anyway, now they have all 7 paintings, but they're trying to figure out the clues, and nothing makes sense. It's just a bunch of random symbols. But then, his sister has this genius idea. She's like, "Wait a minute, these paintings are super old. These symbols aren't letters, they make up the name of an ancient king. We need to find his Bible." But before they can even pack their bags, those mafia guys from the beginning of the movie show up again. And so do the cops. It's a total showdown. The cop and the gangster start fighting each other, and in all the confusion, Luke and his team just slip away. Later, they're on a plane and Luke falls asleep and has another one of his crazy dreams. He's drinking water from the Fountain of Youth, but as he drinks, he watches his sister and her son get super old right in front of him. He totally freaks out and just dumps the water out. He wakes up and his sister's just sitting there like, "You still talk in your sleep." They finally get to this huge library to find the king's Bible. And who shows up again? Esme. Turns out she's actually one of the protectors of the path, and she's there to stop Luke from finding the Fountain of Youth. Another massive fight breaks out in the library. Luke does this insane move where he ties a rope to his foot and just jumps off a balcony to get away from her. He yells at his team to grab the Bible and run for it. That night, they're trying to find a clue in the Bible, but there's nothing. Then his sister has another breakthrough. She looks at the symbols from the paintings again and realizes they're not letters at all. They're music notes. And get this, her son, who's a total music whiz, is the one who decodes the whole thing.
So he cracks the code, and it turns out the music is all about the 7 wonders of the world. And what's the 7th wonder? The pyramids. They finally figured it out. The Fountain of Youth is hidden inside the Great Pyramids of Giza. So they all pile into the businessman's private jet and head to Egypt. Luke falls asleep again and has another one of his super weird dreams. He's grabbing that golden mask, but as soon as he touches it, he sees his sister get old and frail. He wakes up totally spooked. His sister's sitting there and she's like, "I don't trust this businessman guy. He sent my ex-husband halfway across the world for a job, but I know it's just so he can't be with our son." But Luke just tells her to chill out and focus on the mission. Meanwhile, we cut to Esme, and she's meeting with the leader of the Protectors of the Path. She's super bummed that Luke's team has made it to the pyramids. Her leader is like, "No one's ever gotten this far before. You know what you have to do." And he hands her this weird-looking key. Back at the pyramids, Luke is explaining all about the secret chambers inside. But his sister tells everyone, "Hey, if you find anything cool in there, leave it. Dad found a golden mask in a pyramid once, and he left it behind because some things are better left undiscovered." And everyone's like, "Yeah, that's a good point." The next morning, they're at the pyramids, and the businessman has hired a whole army of fighters to hold off anyone who tries to follow them. Luke finds the entrance to the secret chamber, but it's blocked by this massive stone drum. Luke's like, "Let's just blow it up." But his sister stops him. She's like, "The Egyptians were geniuses. There has to be an easier way." And then her son notices that some of the drums and towers in the chamber look like speakers and instruments. So he just starts banging on the drums, and get this, the whole place starts moving. Stairs appear out of nowhere, and the giant stone drum starts rising up. His mom joins in, and they just magically lift this huge stone thing out of the way. Below it is this elevator-like chamber, and the whole family, plus the businessman, start heading down. But outside, Esme and the cops have shown up, and they're in a massive shootout with the businessman's army. Esme's team and the cops actually team up and take down all of the bad guys. Then they all head inside the pyramid to find Luke. Deep inside, Luke's crew finds another secret passage that leads them right to a spot where they can see the Fountain of Youth. They press on a brick, more stairs appear, and they finally make it down. And there it is, but it's just this tiny little pool of water. Luke's sister tells the businessman, "This water could be the greatest gift or the biggest curse. You'll have to find out for yourself." The guy gets all nervous and tells Luke to drink it first. But Luke's like, "My job was just to get you here. The rest is on you." The businessman gets all mad and is like, "I'll decide when your job is done." And then he just admits it. He's not sick. He just wanted to find the fountain because he heard it makes you live forever. But now he's scared, so he's gonna make Luke drink it. He pulls a gun and is like, "Drink it, or I'll kill your sister and her son." So Luke reluctantly goes to drink the water, but he got shot by the businessman and a drop of his blood falls into the fountain. And then the craziest thing happens. The water just erupts, coils around Luke like a snake, and lifts him into the air. It shows him a vision. If he drinks, his sister and her son will grow old and die. So he doesn't drink it. And because he passed the test, the water gives him superpowers. All his wounds just instantly heal. The water puts him down, and the businessman is like, "Why didn't you drink it?" Luke just says, "Because it's yours." So the businessman cuts himself, and a drop of his blood falls in. The water lifts him up, but when it tests him, it finds out the only person he loves is himself. And since the price of drinking the water is that the people you love grow old and die, you guessed it. The water starts making him old and withered. Just then, Esme and the cops show up. She sees what's happening and uses that weird key to shut down the fountain. The whole place starts collapsing. Everyone makes a run for it, but the businessman gets trapped. Luke, being the good guy he is, risks his own life to save him, and they all get out just in time as the pyramid seals itself up forever. Luke apologizes to his sister for all the danger, And Esme's like, don't you ever go on another adventure like this again. On the way home, Luke finally understands why his dad kept all his discoveries a secret. And then his nephew's like, hey, want to go on one last adventure? And the movie just ends right there. So, will he go? Who knows?